Just got a whole new wave of sets. Last week, we took a look at the Dark Trooper Attack set, which was a pretty cool one, the $30 set. But this week, we are taking a look at the Boba Fett's Throne Room. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Lobricks. Today, we are taking a look at Boba Fett's Throne Room, which is, of course, one of the sets that came out in the spring of 2022 wave of LEGO Star Wars. So we're going to take a look at it. Starting with the box here is we've got the black Greebling, which is new for 2022. You know, we're used to kind of the more white Greebling around the edges of the box. And then we've got this pretty cool backdrop here. Another thing on the box that I found to be interesting is we've got some figures down there in the corner, pretty sweet. But on the box, they kind of divvied up the figures. We've got, you know, our two homies down here, these four fellas in between, and Boba Fett off to the side. You'd think they'd, like, group, you know, her with Boba Fett, but no, she's definitely grouped in here. Am I just crazy? You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, this is clearly a defined group, defined group, defined group. I don't know. Maybe the graphic designer was just asleep that day, or it's intentional. Couldn't tell you. I'm not an expert. But anyway, let's take a look at the set itself. Enough with this box nonsense, so let's get it out here. Alright, so here we have it. Here's the set itself. This is everything everyone's been wanting. Actually, no, it's not. Actually, a lot of people don't like this set. So, let me break it down for you. Some people say that this doesn't look like Jabba's palace because, you know, it doesn't have a roof on it. And what they're referring to is that the Jabba's palace in the movies and TV shows that we're used to seeing has a dome roof on it. A little bit something like this. I took the dome from our 2012 Jabba's palace. A little something like that. So something like that, you know. And they're saying, well, it doesn't look like Jabba's palace, and I could agree with them that this doesn't really look like Jabba's palace without that roof. But there's a very, very good reason they didn't put that roof on, and at least it's kind of a conspiracy theory, but a well thought out one. So let me give you a little bit of a history lesson here. Back when the 2012 set came out, there was a certain religious group that said the dome on top looked a lot like their place of worship, and it was offensive. So LEGO didn't really do anything about it. They didn't really say anything. That was just kind of par for the course LEGO back then. They said, you know, it's offensive. We don't like it. So I think LEGO saw that feedback they got last time. They're like, you know what? I don't really want to offend anyone. That's not a cool thing to do. So they just ditched the roof, which probably a good play on LEGO's part. Don't really want to offend anyone. That's not good. But that is why there is no roof, and I'm pretty sure that's the reason. It's pretty simple. They just didn't want to deal with that again. If you want to know more details, look up the LEGO 2012 Jabba's Palace controversy. A little crevice of history for you there. But anyway, enough with that nonsense. Let's get into the set itself. The set comes with 7 minifigures, 3 of which are updated minifigures, 2 of which are new, and 2 are duplicates. We've seen them before. I mean, kind of. We've definitely seen this Boba Fett before in the Boba Fett's Slave 1. Actually, no, my bad. LEGO, please. I'm sorry. Boba Fett's Starship. I'm sorry. Please. The FBI is going to come knocking down my door. I can't use that name no longer. But we've seen him before in a $30 set. That's cool for LEGO to do. We definitely want to see these figures not being in super expensive sets. The figures people want, you know. Every kid wants a LEGO Boba Fett. Instead of having to spend $99 to get this set, they only have to spend $30 so they can get the more famous figures, which I think is definitely cool to see. And then we've got, of course, the other figures in the set. And she came in a very expensive set, $160, the Imperial Light Cruiser. We have reviews on both of those sets, so if you're curious about what the figures and selection in those sets are, you can definitely take a look. But anyway, let's take a look in depth at these figures and kind of what we're seeing and what we get. So let's do that. All right, starting out with our main guy itself, Boba Fett. And if you don't know, this set takes place in the Boba Fett show on Disney+. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's pretty cool. So this is after Boba Fett decided to crawl out of the Sarlacc pit in which he was eaten. So he's wearing a little bit different armor. He's got black underlay. You know, it's a later model Boba Fett. But overall, he's pretty cool. He's got arm printing. We love that arm printing. Very nice to see. You got it on both sides there. Very accurate to the show. The helmet itself is also pretty nice. You got that bullet dent shown there. It's definitely a cool helmet and the newer design, which is sweet. You got leg printing there on the bottom, which is nice to see. You also got some toe printing there. You can see it. You got toe printing, and you also get some belt printing. The chest printing is also pretty sweet. If you take a look there, pretty cool looking. And then you've got his jetpack on the back. And this Boba Fett comes with a face, because, you know, you see his face quite a bit in the show, and that is just got to be the sweetest thing I've ever seen. But anyway, that is Boba Fett. We've seen him before, so let's move into a figure we've kind of seen before. All right, so here we have Fennac Shan. Pretty cool figure. She's got all sorts of printing on her torso, arms, legs, and her back. They didn't skip a beat. You also got some sweet arm printing there. And this is the first time we've seen the figure with a hair, which is definitely cool. It's very true to the show, very true to her character, and one of the sweetest hair printings, or hair printings, one of the sweetest hair molds I've seen in a while. She's got a very cool looking face there, very accurate to her figure. And then, of course, her blaster. Very cool, very cool. Overall, a pretty sweet figure, and it's very cool to get her with her hair now, and I think that she's definitely one worth getting. Fortunately, she's only available in this set, which is this set and the Imperial Light Cruiser right now, and those are very expensive sets. So will LEGO include her in a cheaper set? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But anyway, guys, that is Fennac Shan. So let's move into our next figure. All right, now we've got Bib Tuna, and he is, of course, in the start of Boba Fett, the ruler of Jabba's palace, and he's got some different clothing on than the last time we saw him, and he's got a sweet head mold here. Look at this thing. Look at that tentacle thing he's got wrapped around his head. Very, very cool to see. He's got some back printing there with all sorts of ragged clothing. It's not been a good time on Tatooine since the fall of the Empire, but anyway, let's move to the front. We've got some robe design there on the front as well. And awesome figure. I do really like this new mold they made up for him. And it is cool to see him in later years. We've only really got him in his earlier years, you know, back in good old when Jabba was ruling things, in the simpler times when it was just the Empire. And I actually have that figure so I can show you what we got, the differences. So here's our older figure. This came in the 2012 version of the set. As you can see, the face has definitely been upgraded, and we've definitely got a bigger mold there. But this is his older outfit. He's, of course, wearing his newer outfit. But anyway, just wanted to show you guys that. Pretty sweet overall. But there's Bib Tuna, definitely a figure that is cool to see. And I actually don't mind him being in a more expensive set, because he's not really... No kid goes to the store and's like, oh mom, I really want Bib Tuna. He's real inspiration for me, you know? Like no kid, well maybe someone does, but no average kid does that. So I don't mind. He's definitely more of an enthusiast figure, so I expect to see him in a more expensive set. So that is Bib Tuna. Let's move into the next figure. All right, our next figure is the Dancer. Very, very cool figure. She is from the Boba Fett show. I don't think she was ever in Jabba's palace. She might have been. Not exactly sure. But she's a pretty cool figure. As you can see, she's got that sweet pink hair. And she's got some cool back printing there. And some front printing. I'm very impressed with how accurate that she is to what you see in the show. She's a pretty cool figure. Overall, I do like what they've done with her. She definitely stands out and is a cool one to get. But overall, I mean, you know, not much to say about her. She's a cool figure. Definitely one worth getting. But anyway, let's move into the next. All right, next up we've got Quinir. I'm not exactly sure how to say his name. Power to the Quarren! But, you know, he's a cool figure. He's the Squid Man. Squid Man. Pretty cool. We've got some printing on our legs there. And some belt printing as well, and it does feed into the torso there. Very cool to see. If you take a look at the back, we've also got printing on the back, and this head mold is also pretty sweet. And, you know, kind of goes down there. Not really a beard, but it's kind of just a part of his face. So, definitely a cool figure. I don't know really what to say about him. I'm not sure if he was in Jabba's palace. I know he was in Boba Fett's palace. You know, pretty cool figure. Overall, one definitely worth getting, and he's done really well. The printing on his face there is also pretty sweet. There's the printing on his face. Pretty cool, pretty stellar. But anyway, that is Quinir, or however you say his name. Not exactly sure. But let's move into the next figure. All right, next up is Gungan Guard. And he is technically an updated figure. They did use the same molding as in the 2012 set, but they added to it. The color's a little different. They added these little dots there, right in the middle, as you can see. So I kind of point them out to you. These dots right there are new, and then these two little dots right there are new. Those were not in the 2012 version. And then if we spin around to the back, pretty similar. Everything looks about the same. The straps are a little bit different color, and then the horns are a little bit different color. But overall, pretty much the same. You do get a different leg printing there, but overall, I think they made the right decision keeping the old mold. I mean, they nailed it back in 2012, so why change it, you know? Overall, definitely very accurate to the figure, and I think they got it spot on in 2012, and they added some more details, but, you know, very solid figure. This is definitely one which I want to see more of. We've only seen him in, this is the third set we've seen him in, so, you know, give us more. We want as many of these as we can get our hands on. But overall, a sweet figure. Let's move into, unfortunately, the last figure in the set. All right, so here's the last figure in the set. It's the Weequay Guard.
The Weequay.
And very cool figure, one we've seen many a times before, and I think this time they got him down pretty well. As you can see, he's got those braids in the back of his head. Very sweet looking. Definitely did the printing very well and very good justice. You know, it's kind of hard to continue from head to torso, but I think they did a good job here. And also, a good thing to note is that the skin tone is correct this time around. I mean, if we take a look at the past version of him, the last, yeah, you got this, which, you know, isn't really on the money. But then if we take a look at the version before that one, we have the exact same skin tone, but, you know, his face leaves a little something to be desired there. And, you know, the printing on the back also leaves something to be desired. So, I think they did a good job with this guy. And definitely a good update to see. And, you know, very good. Another thing I do want to note is that the gun is that, like, dark gray gunmetal instead of black. I know they've been doing that recently, and it's definitely a welcome change. Seem to new different blasters in the Star Wars universe. But anyway, that's it for minifigures, so let's take a look at the set itself. Okay, so the palace itself. Like I said, the roof is not there, but there is very good reason for that. We've kind of got three sections of the palace here, and the first I want to talk about is our tower section. So if we just kind of swing it off to the side, here's our tower. It's not very tall, and our guns don't really, you know, move very well. I tried moving it there, and I kind of broke it off. I like the old ones, they went up and down, but this one's got a little bit more range of motion. It's on a ball joint there. So you kind of got up, down, left, right, which is very cool. As you can see, it's on a ball joint, so you can kind of orientate the guns to whatever intruder is at the door. And then you've got this upper section of the tower, which is actually very similar to how it was before. You can't put a figure in there anymore, which is unfortunate, but you do got that slit, which is in the tower itself. And then up top, you kind of got this sweet-looking beveled design. We spin it around to the interior. On the up top, you just kind of got one little spot to put a minifigure, and then you got some Biometro binoculars there. We take a look back towards the front here. We do got the same door, and you can lift it up, but you have to push in our spider friend. You can lift it up to let people in, which is definitely cool. Definitely a cool play feature. There's no longer a locking function, unfortunately, but you know, that's just the way the thing goes. There used to be a locking function. It didn't really work very well. It kind of stays up there on its own with just friction, so that's cool. You do have got the little eyeball creature still that comes out and says, "Goobity, goobity, goobity, we don't want you here." You know what I'm talking about, but we still got that eyeball creature, which is accessible from the back here. As you can see, there's a little push pin inside. As far as details on the inside, we've got a scanner here, which is very sweet, and then we've got a little play feature here, where if we get our mini figure, we'll do it to a Gungan guard, the poor fella. You can put him on there, walking down, pull an epic prank on him, just like that. That's how it's done. But anyway, that is definitely a cool play feature. You can have him on there, and then just flick him off. Boom. Another little detail on the inside here is that we do actually get a coffee mug down there at the bottom. So another cool thing. And another look at this play feature there. But anyway, enough talking about the tower. Let's rotate to the main section of Jabba's palace. And while I was fiddling around the tower, I accidentally removed our throne, which is something we haven't seen before yet. Before Jabba, you know, he was quite large. I don't want to offend Jabba here, but he was on the bigger side, so he didn't really have a throne. He had no need for it. He just kind of laid on this platform. She kind of had a platform there and laid upon it. But, you know, since Bib Tuna took over, he needed a throne. He needed a place to sit on. So you've got a very cool throne, which is very accurate to the show. And then you've got these four little dots that were represented in the movie and in the TV show. And then, of course, you've got a little play feature built in here. So if we get Bib, you know, our main fella, and we put him upon his throne, you know, he's ruling over his criminal empire. And then Boba Fett shows up, knocking, asking all these questions, and shoots him. As you can see there, blows him off. Boom! Goes flying. And actually, he actually did go flying. But that is a cool play feature. It's activated by this lever here. You just flick it down, shoots him right off. So you can recreate the scene here. We insert it into Jabba's palace. And that is done with these two little slots here on each side. And then you've got corresponding slots in Jabba's palace. Slide it in there, like so. And then you can recreate the scene where Boba Fett comes in. You're not supposed to be here. Boom! Gets him right off the throne. And then, of course, Boba Fett takes control of his new empire, which is a pretty cool play feature. Now, if we take a look at what is under our throne of glory, let's investigate a little bit here. We've got a meat turning rack back there in the back, as we see. It's turning some meat. Some very cool details back there. You can actually rotate your meat over the fire. It's kind of like a slow cook. He just leaves it behind his throne. He knows it's ready when he smells burning. You've got some sort of hookah device here, which is pretty sweet. I'm actually going to connect this into the ground, and then to kind of show you this here. It's a little hookah device. You can pull it out, take a sip. You know how those Star Wars fellas do it. And that's pretty cool design. And then we've got a hookah refill back there in the corner, and then these little outlet thing there, and then you got some lights. You got a beep beep boop panel back there as well, and a bucket full of bones. And there is some more detailing behind our meat cooker itself. As you can see, there is some bottles and some kitchenware back there. So let's put our meat roller back in. You can't have Jabba's palace without the famous meat roller, so we got to add it in. And we can take a look at what is under our throne room here, which is two pieces of what I presume to be Beskar, and then some blasters with the serial numbers scraped off. You know, just your average illegal criminal things. But that is the throne part of the set. Pretty cool looking. Definitely would look cooler with the roof, but you take some, you win some, you lose some. Another part of the set here that wasn't in the last version is this seating arrangement they've got going here for Jabba's or Bib Fortuna's or Boba Fett, whoever's in possession of the palace. This thing's going around like, I don't know, like something. It's going around like the virus. Yeah, you can put his honored guests in there, his business associates, his guards, whatever you want. Although you can't really fit a Gungan guard in there. They kind of just lean forward a little bit. And something interesting about the Gungan guards, they're not loyal to the person. They're not loyal to the person owning Jabba's palace. They're more loyal to the palace itself. They kind of just go with the flow. They're like, who cares who's running this place? The palace is kind of like where I'm at, you know? Who knows? Maybe it's like a unionized sort of deal. But that is the seating arrangement itself. Pretty cool. You can sit all of the people that are visiting Jabba's palace or just the people that hang out there. It's kind of just a rotating nonstop party. But anyway, that is the innards of Jabba's palace. You also can fold these tower and the seating arrangement in, so you kind of got the door right here. You can have them come in. You got the seating over here, so you kind of got a whole play sort of thing going. You can have Bib Tuna. You can have a guard right there watching Bib Tuna, you know, with his axe when everyone has guns. Not a real good choice. You can have the dancer dancing on the dance floor, and then you can also have his esteemed guests sitting over here in the chairs. You're going to just put him in there. Who could forget about this fella? In fact, I'm going to have him standing. He's ready. And then you can kind of close it in and have Boba Fett come in and quite literally dethrone him. Boom. That was weak. Let's try that once more. You know, boom, there he goes. Goes flying, and then it's now Boba Fett's. Boba Fett's the king of the castle. And that's actually a recreation of the show. So if you want to go see the show, you should definitely go watch it. It's on Disney+. That is where this version of Jabba's palace comes from. It is still Jabba's palace. I keep saying Jabba's palace, but it is actually Boba Fett's palace. So that's why there's a throne. Very cool set. One definitely worth getting. But let's turn it around to the front so I can show you one last time what we're looking at here. That's what it looks like unfolded. And then if we fold it in, looks like that. You know, not a very good display piece. Definitely one more for play, for sure. But overall, you know, for $99, you get some sweet figures. You get 7 of them. They're very cool. You get this play thing. And I think for a kid, this will definitely be great and fantastic. But anyway, this is definitely not one for display. So, I am going to be doing a comparison of this version of Jabba's Palace and the 2012 version of Jabba's Palace, but that's actually going to be over on our Patreon. So, you want to see that? You're going to have to go over there and take a look. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I know I did. Very cool set. But that has been Boba Fett's Throne Room. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned for more reviews. Click on our mock videos. We do those also. We do the unboxings too. I don't know. We do all sorts of things. Just go do it. Watch them. If you don't, I don't care. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.